estamos. Y ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days and it's been weeks, and he hasn't said anything. Y espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the best, basically fight for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! Porque la Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.
Good evening to everybody. How's everybody doing? Good evening. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Voice News. Good evening to everybody. It is 2:41 Pacific time. We are live right now broadcasting from the city of Tijuana. Bring you this important analysis of what the leftists in the United States of America are calling the actual border crisis. Now they change it into naming it a capitalist crisis. They have the audacity to say that everything that is happening around our continent or around the world, it is a capitalist crisis. You saw Alexandra Ocasio saying that this was a imperialism crisis, that this was the American imperialism crisis, that this was a carceral penitentiary crisis, that this was a climate crisis. Now we are going to find out. And now something happened with Vladimir Putin. Put attention to me as I am going to put every piece of the puzzle for everybody to understand that this is not a capitalist crisis. Capitalism needs to extend and needs to give more options for people to have more, you know, the grassroots capitalist investor, and also the small business owner and the small business contributor to get more opportunities. That is a reality. Yes, it is. But there are leftists in the United States of America are saying that this is a capitalist crisis, and ultimately you're telling me that is not only so capitalism is wrong, so you're telling me that communism is right. So I'm going to put something. God bless my country of Mexico, my city of Tijuana, and God bless the United States of America. Welcome, everybody. I'm live at YouTube, and I'm live right now at Facebook. So this is, you're talking about this is a capitalist crisis. Let's look of certain countries in Central and South America of our continent of America. This is the country of Ecuador. This man right here, his name is Rafael Correa. He was the president of Ecuador, and he was in power for more than 10 years. Right here, from 2007 to 2017. He was a dictator and a friend of, of the left. And he adds right here some comments that they're going to stay for, for decades and decades to come. And one of the comments right here, this is the ex-president of Ecuador that it was in power for more than 10 years. So you're talking about a capitalist crisis in Central and South America. This is a leftist president that it was more in power for more than 10 years in Ecuador from 2007 to 2017. Is a friend also of Evo Morales, that you can see him right here. Evo Morales was more in power more than 13 years in Bolivia. He was a socialist. Talking about capitalist crisis, right? Why don't they talk about communist and socialist crisis? And this is one of the questions that this man right here, Rafael Correa, asked his people. And look at the question that he asked. Why the left has not benefited from the economical world crisis and the right does. Wow. So it's basically telling you that the left needs to benefit of the world crisis because the left has never benefited from. This is first example. Ecuador. Ecuador, you're talking about the left in the United States are talking about the capitalist crisis that supposedly it is existing. First example, that's Ecuador. Rafael Correa, more than 10 years as president. I'm just going to give you some brief examples because all these leftists are talking about it is a capitalist crisis. Why don't they look at what has been happening in Central and South America? And for the record, all these leftists that they're saying that there is a capitalist crisis, there are just keyboard writers, these activists, writers, that they just live in the capitalist country of the United States and they never lived in a country like us. So this is the first one. Rafael Correa, more than 10 years in power. Now, let us go to the other one. And let us go to see the similitude of the situations. The next one, it is Juan Orlando Hernandez. Juan Orlando Hernandez has been as president since 2014 to 2018, and there was corruption on his elections from, again, to be reelected from 2018 again to 2022. These are dictators, leftist dictators, that they're colliding and working with the left. Now, if you look at this, at the first paragraph that says right here, it says, after the polemic and the critical decision of the Supreme Court of Honduras on 2015 to allow the re-election of President Hernandez, this president that has been horrible to his people of Honduras, that has permitted his people to be exiling from his country on an exodus because of the necessities of the people, and only profiting out of his own rich and out of his own government and out of his own people. This man has been in president since he started on 27th of January of 2014, and now he's going to be a dictator all the way to 2022. Amazing. And they're talking about that this is a capitalist crisis. This is a capitalist crisis. Now, let us go to the other example right now. The other example. This one is in Nicaragua. Another leftist dictator by the name of Daniel Ortega. Daniel Ortega has been in power since 2007 to 2012, and from 2012, 2017, and now has been more than 10 years in power. Daniel Ortega, 15 years in 3 terms. And he has been in power since 2007. And look what he did in those years in power. It looks kind of like the same that they're trying to do to the United States of America. Kind of like the same. Look what he did. And in these years of him being empowered, he has been part of shadow banning the protest against his government And also, he has been hardly criticized for censoring mainstream media, the opposite mainstream media, the right mainstream media or independent mainstream media, that they're against his government. You're talking about capitalist crisis? This man has been in power for almost 15 years. And you're talking about that this is a capitalist crisis. And these are leftist dictators. We've said 3 already. Now, let's look at another one. Another one that is ridiculous, what he has been doing. This is Alexander Lukashenko. Alexander Lukashenko has been in power for 26 years in Belarus. He's a leftist communist. Talking about a capitalist crisis, right? It's not the people that are in power, Blue. It's the system. 26 years. And look at what he says right here. 26 years of Alexander Lukashenko. It is the politician that has more years in power, and it was the first one to win democratic presidential elections in the place where the USSR was disintegrated after some protests that they have been occurring in Belarus against his dictatorship. He asked for help for, who do you think? Vladimir Putin. A guy that my life is going to end up in that. This is Alexander Lukashenko. Another one for people that they're calling it a capitalist crisis. Now let's look at this one. This one, everybody knows this one. Everybody knows this one. Oh, this one is so nice. Nicolas Maduro. Right here. Another socialist that has been in politics for the leftist and socialist communist political party of Venezuela. This is the president of Venezuela. For people that are calling this a capitalist crisis again. This is the political charges that the president has been involved. He has been president of the National Assembly of Venezuela. He has been chancellor since 2006. He's a minister of exterior relations since 2006 to 2013. Vice president of the PSUV, Partido Socialista de la Unión de Venezuela, Socialist Political Party of the Venezuelan Union from 2012 to 2013. Vice president of the government of Venezuela of the Political Socialist United Party of Venezuela from 2012 to 2013. President of Mercosur from 2013 to 2014, a socialist organization. Second president, again from the Political Socialist Unity Party of Venezuela. And now he's a president of the Political Party of Unity of Venezuela. So this is not they're saying this is a capitalist crisis. Again, another one. Right here, another one for everybody to see. This is Nicolas Maduro, the actual socialist that is ruling Venezuela. Now, let's go before Nicolas Maduro. Who was there before as a dictator? Right here. Everybody remembers this. Hugo Chavez. Almost 15 years of the Bolivariano leftist socialist Bolivariano government. 15 years in power until he passed away. He passed away at 58 years of age. And he was real known for his really corrupt re-elections. Hugo Chavez, almost 15 years of being a president in Venezuela. And people in the United States are calling this a capitalist crisis. Right? Let's go to another one. And the last one before we go to the main one that this is the video about. Let's go to another one. And this is Evo Morales. Evo Morales from the Political Socialist Party of Bolivia. More than 13 years as a dictator in Bolivia. More than 13 years in the country of Bolivia. And it says right here, almost 14 years in power. And he qualified the past elections as a civic political hit piece on him. More than 13 years in power. Wow. And let's go to the last one. That this video is about that. Particularly, I wanted to do this video to address these, leftists that they're saying this is a capitalist crisis, Oscar. This is a capitalist crisis. All right. This is a capitalist crisis. What about this? Let me just put this document right here. That you're saying that this is a capitalist crisis. Hold on a minute. Now, can you explain me this? And I just did this on the last video. Vladimir Putin signs a law enabling him to stay in power to 2036. That is just awesome. Vladimir Putin signs a law enabling him to stay in power till 2036. And again, I will read it. It says the 60-year-old Russian leader who has already been in power for more than 2 decades signed up the bill on Monday, according to the copy posted on the government legal information portal. Putin proposed the change last year as part of constitutional reforms that Russians overwhelmingly back him up in both in May and July. Lawmakers approved the new bill last month. So, another one. You are telling me this is a capitalist crisis? The left in the United States of America. I didn't want to put one of the most important ones, that is Cuba. That everybody knows that it has been under the regime of the Castros. And actually, people are rising in Cuba. And people are tired of communism and under their dictatorship of almost 60 years. Almost 60 years under communism and dictatorship in Cuba. I just shown you all the communist and socialist presidents and leaders. That a lot of them, if I go by numbers, Alexander Lukashenko, 26 years. The guy in Nicaragua, more than 10 years. The guy in Ecuador, the guy in Nicaragua, almost 10 years. Yeah, the guy in Ecuador, almost 10 years also. The guy in Bolivia, almost 15 years. The guys in Venezuela, 13 and plus years. This guy right here, enabling him to be in power till 2036. More power, more dictatorship. This is the left that right now in your country are saying that this is a capitalist crisis. Watch out for that word, people. Watch out. My whole purpose to do this show is for you guys to understand how the terminology and the language, it is so important for everybody nowadays. How these leftist communists, radical leftist communists in the United States, how they're trying to indoctrinate you with new words like you are such a Dictator. You're a dictator, a narcissistic dictator. You're a narcissist. You're a fascist. You're a xenophobe. You're a homophobe. You are a racist. You know, this is a climate change crisis. This is a imperialistic crisis. This is a penitentiary crisis. This is a capitalist crisis. But on the other side, they don't see this. They don't explain how many of these socialist and communist leaders in our continent of America, they have been dictators and empowered, and they have been under the communist and socialist agenda. Wow. Why don't they talk about that? And they want to talk about the American imperialism, but they don't talk about what the political Communist Party of China is doing right now to the world with their cheap man product and extracting minerals in Bolivia as lithium, and also trying to extract minerals right now with Chinese investors in our country of Mexico and Sonora. And also right now, they're going to start doing it in Nevada. It is kind of curious. This is kind of weird. And they're calling it a capitalist crisis? Wow. When all these dictators that I just put you, they have been in power for more than 10, 15, a lot of them were 26 years. And you got a guy right here with a big smile that says, yeah, you know that I'm the man. Putin signs a law enabling him to stay in power to 2036. This is his face. If you know what I mean. Crazy, huh? Watch out for that word, people. Watch out for that word that is capitalist crisis. That is a terminology used by the left to pamper and to pander to the actual capitalism. That is how they want to call it now, a capitalist crisis. Watch out for that one. Please, these young guys that they just want to throw out their terminologies like capitalist crisis, and they don't actually have ever lived in a country that is a capitalist country that is suffering from changes to communism. And also they have never seen communism. They have never traveled to poverty, countries. And they want to talk about that is a capitalist crisis when they're benefiting out of their own capitalism inside their own country. It is crazy. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Voice News. Thank you so much for watching this small segment of almost 25 minutes that I'm about to do. You can follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero. You can follow him at Facebook, YouTube, Parler, Orbis, Instagram, Rumble, and his channel in Telegram. You can follow me as Oscar L. Blue at YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Instagram, and also my channel at Telegram. Thank you so much for watching this small video that I just did. I will do it in Spanish later on this evening. God bless you all. Stay safe. Watch out for that word, capitalist crisis. They're going to start implementing that word in our children to indoctrinate them that capitalism is the worst solution. Let's bring communism into our world. Watch out for that. Stay safe. And like we always say, peace and love, everybody, because always your country's first. God bless.
Y ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days and it's been weeks, and he hasn't said anything. logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the best, basically fight for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! Porque la Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.